taken place in Lyon in Switzerland, and here is confirmation of all 8 ties. 13-time winners Real Madrid are up against Benfica. The Europa League champions Villarreal will be Manchester City's opponents. It's Atletico versus Bayern. Salzburg, who are in the round of 16 for the first time, are up against 2019 winners Liverpool. It's Inter Ajax, Sporting Juventus. Chelsea, I think, will be rather happy with Lille. They could have had much worse options there. And it is Messi versus Ronaldo. PSG against Manchester United. It feels like it was written, that one, doesn't it? Joe, Michael and Owen watching that draw with me, and I think Ralph Rangnick and Mauricio Pochettino, Joe, would have both much preferred other ties to that one.
It's a dreadful one for Manchester United. That would be the one they'd have been looking like, not PSG. And obviously, you throw Messi and Ronaldo in there, it's the tie of the round. From PSG's perspective, I've watched them a lot this year. There's still holes in what they do, and the balance in the team isn't right. But, you know, you give Pochettino another few months. If they click into gear, they can beat anyone. And same, likewise with Ralph Rangnick. He's going to have 2 months to work with his team to implement his style. But that is a juicy tie.
It's box office always, isn't it? Messi, Ronaldo, Michael. Do you think this potentially could be the last time that we get to see it?
Oh, yeah, I never thought of it like that. But yeah, absolutely, it's probably going to be, isn't it? They saved the best till last. It's a glamour tie. I don't fancy Paris Saint-Germain to win the competition. I said from the outset, I'm not really keen on the way they play, the balance of their team. They've got some sensational players, and they're always going to be headline makers, but it's not an impossible task for Manchester United. And as much as they didn't want it, neither team would have wanted this one, really. I think Paris probably would have expected a difficult tie because they were in the second pot after all. But Manchester United can consider themselves unlucky. They should have probably been given an easy one. But the draw's the draw. You've got to face it. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. On current form, you might say it might be. But in 2 months' time, this might be a really close game.
Ronaldo has 6 goals in 5 appearances in the Champions League this season. Do you feel he's having a much better time of it at Manchester United than Messi is at PSG?
Look, the reason United are where they are is because of Cristiano Ronaldo. He's been by far the best player. And the second one's been David De Gea, who you probably argue is going to be pretty busy against his PSG side. So, look, I agree with the boys. They've got a lot of time, a few months to get the balance of the team right. Look, the way they're going to play is that high intensity to go against PSG's, you could argue, low intensity. The front three virtually do nothing. It's a really, really tough draw for Manchester United, probably the worst possible one. But with the players that they have and maybe a clear philosophy, then maybe they can get the job done. If they keep clean sheets, which they have in the past 2 games, Ronaldo will score goals, you can guarantee you that.
The big men for the big occasions, these two, aren't they, Joe? And they'll be seeing this as perhaps the last opportunity to get their hands again on this trophy.
Well, yes, and PSG, I agree with the guys in the sense that there's still holes in their game, but I just got a sneaky feeling. I started the competition, I thought, no, they're not going to do nothing, but I think they'll grow, and I think Messi will grow. I've watched him closely. He hasn't said it a lot, but he's been dropping deeper, and he's been feeding Mbappe, and feeding Neymar, playing a more sort of withdrawn role. So I still think they'll beat Manchester United. Because I just think they've got more about them. I think, and I think they'll go close. I think they'll get better as the season goes on. It's a big test for Pochettino because for years we've been talking about Pochettino as a top manager. Now you've got top players. You have to win competitions like this. So it's going to be a big one.
And another twist to it as well is that Pochettino very much being the man tipped to take over from Rangnick, perhaps at the end of the season as well. So he's got a lot to prove if he wants that job.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, as Joe said, he's been touted as a top manager for a long time now. His trophy cabinet wouldn't sort of bear that out, but in terms of his style of play and how he overachieved at Spurs, getting them to the Champions League final would sort of back that up. Rumour has it that he's not totally happy in Paris, and that he would potentially take over at Manchester United if offered the job, but that remains to be seen. And if Rangnick goes and wins this game and goes successful,
he carries on with the job when he's in his advisory role.
I mean, if you're calling all the shots, then why wouldn't you? So that's all I don't know. That's another sort of subject to talk about in a way, but it's a strange one. But certainly, Pochettino has been the name on everybody's lips when it's come to Manchester United over the last few seasons. Still not taken the job, but you'd have to think there's a fair chance in the future.
And last season, Manchester United went out in the group stage, PSG finishing ahead of them in that group. But 2019, the last time they actually met in the last 16, it went Manchester United's way.